Hey, welcome everyone. This is Green Educational Consults, your number one and trustable educational consults that you can ever find. If you're here today, we know some of you have applied for admission and some of you are thinking of applying to admission next year or maybe somewhere January intake. Even if you're in master's program, you can still apply for masters in the US or Canada. So we want to look at how admission committees are actually looking for. What are they looking for? Okay, so before you go for a battle, you have to know what tools you should carry, what ammunition you should carry before you can win a war. Okay, so if you're applying for admission, you want to know what actually are the admission committee looking for. What are they expecting you to have? Okay, to get an admission, you need to possess some certain skills. Do you have that all in your application documents? So those are the things I'll be talking about briefly this afternoon, wherever you are this morning, if in the US, everywhere. And I hope this session will give you some clearance and how what to do and what not to do, how to present your application document to get admission. Okay, so in fact, most students are unable to submit strong application documents, so they end up not get admission. All right, so if you're on this platform, you are here on purpose to get admission to study abroad, to study in any country you want, whether US, Canada, Germany, Australia, UK, or any other Europe countries. You want to present a very strong application document to get admission to study abroad. Okay, so let's look at some of the things that admission committees are looking for. You don't just apply, you must apply with strategy. Okay, that's creates the difference. If you don't apply with strategy, you cannot get admission. Okay, so the first thing that you want to consider when you're applying to study abroad is that you want to tackle your academic strengths. Okay, so this by experience. Okay, over the years, what I have seen is that your academic strength gives you 40%, which contains your GPA, your coursework. If you're applying to a program, they look at your coursework, okay, and they look at your research area and publications. Okay, so these are the things that you want to look at. So they are grouped in categories. They look at these four areas in your application. So your GPA count, your coursework count, your research work. So your research work could be your project work. So if you are in undergrad, if you're in undergrad want to move to master's or PhD, you have to take your project work seriously. So all this part of your application counts. And then they look at publication skills. Do you have the ability to publish a paper? Have you published your paper? Have you published your undergrad project work? If you are going for a PhD, do you have any skills in publications? Okay. Before a professor will commit to be your advisor, you want to look at your skills. What are you bringing on board? Okay, so they look at all those things in your applications. They look at your research area. Okay, does your research area match with its own? So the next thing is your research fit. Okay, are we having some fit? If I want to recruit you and being in my lab, the first thing I will look at is, are we having some similarities in our research area? Do we have some areas that we all have some alignments? If you don't have a research area that aligns with mine, then it means I cannot work with you. So the first thing you want to do is that you want to connect your research area to the professor that you want to work with. That's what we call research fit. Okay, and your interest, you have to state your research interest clearly. It has to align with the professor. Okay, you cannot be doing something A and you want to do something B in somebody's project. Okay, so if a professor is not responding to you or they have not given admission, it means that your research area does not match with their own. Okay, so you in your essay, you want to state this clearly in your essays. Even in your CV, you have to create a portion in your CV where you have to list your research area in your CV clearly with keywords in your research field. Okay, if you are going to do a program, let's say in public health, you want to list the research area clearly in your essay and also in your SOP. And by listing that, you are trying to connect that to the professor that you want to work with. Okay, and your potential, the potential is what you want to do. Okay, you have to state your goals clearly. What do you want to work on? Okay, do you have any goal of publications? Do you want to publish a paper? Do you want to engage in a research work? Okay, so this is how you want to make sure that your application is standard. So the communities are looking for all these things in your applications. Now, the next thing they're looking at is your personal qualities. Okay, so these are the, if you can get these 4 things in your essay, how would admission officers know your personal qualities? How would they know? Through your personal statements, your statements of purpose. Once they read your personal statements, they can be able to know who you are. They will know your motivation. What motivates you to do this work? Probably in your undergrad, you are working on some research work, and you are curious and you want to do further research in that field. Okay, that motivates you to do this program. So your motivation is what actually is going to make them to recruit you to the program. Now, when you are applying to the program, your essay, that's why we tell students that your personal statement is your gold. Okay, if it's not written well, you cannot get admission. Okay, so that's why you have to now state your motivation, your resilience. So if you are going for a PhD program, they want to see if you have that resilience to do a PhD program, because PhD is difficult. Okay, it comes with its own challenges. I mean, there'll be a time you're happy, some days you're not happy. Your professor is not treating you well, your professor is not responding to you well. Can you have resilience spirit to maintain who you are and continue with your program? So they look at all that, and they look at your communication skills, because you are going to do presentation in in conferences, poster presentations, and all those things. So they want to see that you have all these qualities in you. Then the next thing they're looking for is your reference data. Okay, so the reference that you submit to the US, they are not formality. Okay, this process are designed to know the kind of student that they are recruiting. So if they ask you to send a reference letter, it's not formality. Okay, don't think that oh, it's just something that they want. No, it's not something that they just want. They want to know the kind of student they are bringing in. Your previous professors or lecturers should able to speak good thing about you. Okay, so if your lecturer cannot speak good about you and he's just submitting some kind of generic references, you cannot get admission. Okay, so when you want to get a reference, make sure you do it on purpose. You don't just go because this professor is a top in your department. You want to get his signature on your reference, or you want him to write you a reference, even though he doesn't know you. I will, even if you go for a lecturer who does not have a PhD, and he or she can write good things about you, go for that person. Okay, so don't choose people because of their academic credentials. If that person cannot write good things about you, then it's a waste of time. Most of the lecturers have some archaic or some old templates that they write for everybody. So if John come, they use the same format, they just change your name. If Samuel come, they use the same letter, they just change your name. It has no personal there's no uniqueness of your reference. So you want to make sure that your reference that you are submitting is something that is good. How do you do that? You have to reach out to your professors, your lecturers, your former lecturers. So if you are still in school, I would advise you to take your time, build a very good relationship with your lecturers. There should be some connection between the two of you. When you finish school, he is going to write your reference. And if he doesn't know you well, he cannot write a good thing for you, and you will not get admission. Okay, so your academic strength carries 40%. Your GPA, your cost, everything. Okay, then the next thing is your research field. Does your research work aligns with the professor that you want to work with? So they look at all this side. Okay, now the next thing is your personal qualities. Like I've explained that to you. Okay, it could be your skills. Do you know how to code? Do you know how to use some basic data analysis? Do you know how to do some if you're in econometrics, economics, can you do some basic data analysis? Can you conduct research work and all those things? So these are all personal qualities they are looking for. Okay, so they're also looking at your ability to do research work. All right. Then the next one is the 10% that's carry your reference. It's very important. It's not something you can skip. Okay. So most students are not getting admission just because of this. So how do you make sure that your research area match with the professor? Now, if you want to get this all score 30% correctly, then you want to do thorough research before you apply. So, okay, so you give yourself some time, go to the university website, go to the faculty's list and see which professor research area matches with your own. Okay, so you want to make sure that your research area matches with the professor that you want to work with. So you have to go through the list one by one, checking all that they are doing, check their publications, and if their research area matches with your own, then you write those professors' names down and research more on them, check their publication on Google Scholar, PubMed, and any other platform that you have, and look at their research area and list that in your personal statement or statement of purpose. Okay, so once you do that, you try to, the goal of doing that is to match your research area with that professor. Okay, that will give you the admission that you want. If you cannot do this, then it will be hard. Okay, so I always advise students to be mindful of the kind of thing they write in their SOP. Okay, if you cannot write good SOP, then you cannot get admission. Okay, so one of the things that you want to look at before I move is your how to write a winnable personal statement or statement of purpose. This is one of the headache. Like I once said that this year, most of the students who will not get admission are people who have used AI to write their essays. If you use AI to write your essays, you will not get admission. The AI can assist you with knowledge, how to write and all this, but you have to write everything by yourself. Okay, so how do you write a winnable personal statement or statement of purpose? Now, the goal is why this field? Why this university? Why you? Why should you admit you? Why now? Why now? Why not next year? Why now? Why this year? So you want to justify all this in your personal statements, and you want to make it something that is unique to you and something that's aligned to you as a person. That's why you cannot copy or use AI. AI cannot write everything that will be aligned to you. Okay, so your story. Okay, so you want to make sure that you present a very good story. Now, how do you present a good story? There has to be a hook. Okay, know that the admission committees are reading several students SOP. Okay, so what are they going to remember you when you read your essay? There's has to be some hook. When we talk about hook, if I say hook, if you're a fish farmer, I mean, or if you're a fisherman, you know, a hook is something that, like, when a fish comes, it hook the fish. So let me just put it in that way. When the fish tries to eat, you give him the food, and then there's a bait. So when you do that, you can able to catch a fish. So the hook is that will catch the attention of the admission committee. When they read your essay, there should be something unique about you. Okay, if you cannot write something unique about you, you cannot able to get their attention. What is sparked your passion, your interest in this program? Okay, and the next thing that you want to look at is your academic background. You have to justify your academic background, your coursework, your project work, your thesis work that you've done before. You want to include that in your academic background. Okay, even if you have done some class presentation, you've done some poster presentations and all those things, you have to include that in your personal statement or statement of purpose. So you have to brag about your academic background. Okay, don't be lenient. Know that the admission officers don't know you. The only way they can know you is the personal statement that you are writing for them to read. Okay, so on a day that they are going to review your applications, you are not there to defend yourself. So how do you defend yourself? You defend yourself by putting your thoughts, everything about you on your personal statement. Okay, so now your academic background, you have to brag about your skills. You have to brag about your records. So if you're applying to some program, you have to mention some of the program you did before in your undergrad or master's level. So when they mention, they look at that. Okay, you have done this course and you want to do this course. Okay, so they will do analysis of your background. So this essay is not formality. It's very, very crucial for your admission. Okay, then the next thing is your research experience. as you're going to do PhD program, do you have some kind of experience in a field that you want to study? Have you ever done some research before? Can you do research work? Can you do some data analysis? Which method do you know? Do you have some kind of econometric method or statistical analysis skills in your field? Okay, so let's say if you are going to do public health, okay, so they expect you to know some basic skills. Can you interpret data? Can you analyze data and also interpret results? So, for example, if you are going for public health, you want to know how to do some logistic regressions. You want to do some basic analysis. You need to do difference in difference, do no regressions, and all those things. So you mention all those things in your essay. Demonstrate it. Okay. So if you tell me that you are proficient in research, you've done research before, how do I know that you can do research work? By telling me what you have done in your project work. Show by example. Okay. So when we talk about your research experience, you can't just say I have a research experience. How will I know? I can only know your research experience by you telling me what you've done before. What have you done? What method have you used for your research work? Okay. Through that, you are demonstrating your research experience. Okay. If you're from an undergrad, we know that you've not done much research work. So your undergrad project work is your goal. That's what you use for all your applications. Okay. Now the next thing is why this program. Okay. Why this program also means why this school. Before you want to apply to school, you are applying to a particular school because of the program and also the professor. Okay, so you want to do some research work and you find a particular professor in certain school. That's why you reach out to that school and you want to apply or send an email to the professors and all those things. Okay, so your lab, the lab that the professor is working in, that interests you. Okay, so this program have to be by the professor that you want to work with or their lab. Okay, and then the program, and you have to justify it. So you have to go back and link your why this program to your research experience. Okay, based on your previous experience or your research work, you want to now do this program, which is being done in this university, and this professor is currently working on this. So you want to apply to this program. So, and then the last thing is your future goals. Okay, what is next for you? You have to list that in your SOP. There's no way you can write SOP without telling them your future plans. Okay, you have to talk about your future plans, your future goals in your SOP, the impact that the program will have in your career. So if you are applying to do a PhD, there's no way you will write in your SOP that you want to work in World Bank or you want to work in a bank or you want to be this. No, they are training you. One of the aim of PhD program is to train you to become a faculty. If you will not be a faculty for now, you have to mention that maybe you want to be a professor, you want to be a lecturer in future. Okay, you have to define your goals. Okay, you can mention that you want to be a faculty and at the same time be consultant to some firms as part-time. Okay, you have to demonstrate to the admission officers the impact the program will have on your career. Okay, you don't just write your SOP without talking about your plan for the future. You have to talk about in the next 5 to 10 years, I want to be here. I want to become this. I want to establish lab that can analyze so and so. Okay, so they want to see your goals. And doing your program, you want to publish a paper. By the end of my third year, I want to have a publications. Okay, so you have to lay down your plans for the program. If you're able to do that, then you can be able to get admission. So the admission is not something that you can just approach with an easy mind. Okay, once you want to apply and study in the US, you want to make sure that you are submitting a very strong application. Okay, so the golden rule is every SOP must answer the question, why this field? Okay, why this university? Why you? Why should we admit you? What is special about you? What is special about you is your skills, how you can able to do data analysis, how you can able to write a paper. You have to brag about your skills, your previous work experience. talk about it. Okay, so if you are a nurse and you want to apply to do master's in nursing or PhD or public health, you must talk about your skills. Okay, all that you've done before as a nurse, you mention that in your SOP. Okay, you talk about your experience, your work experience in your SOP. That will help you to get admission. All right. So if you are following, if you can have these 5 steps in your SOP, I can assure you that you got admission. That's why almost every student that we assist in editing their SOP, they get admission. Okay, there's no two way about that. What they want is what you must give. What they want is that you are able to write good things in your SOP. You have a very strong story, you justify your academic background, your research experience, your program, and your future goals. Once you have these 5 things in your SOP, trust me, you are going to get admission. Okay, you don't use AI to. AI cannot be able to simplify all this into these 5 steps. The AI, one thing the SOP has to be is that it should not be generic. So I'll show you what is meant by generic essay today. Now let me show you this example to you. So this one student who is very happy, say, I'm ready to apply for the master's program in computer science at your esteemed. Once I see this word, it look more like generic. Okay, I have always been passionate. The word is passionate. What made you passionate? What are you passionate about? So this is an AI word. This is generic. Okay. Okay. Even if it's not, I'm sorry, if it's not AI word, it's generic. Okay. Generic means that it has no connection to you. It has no nothing that you've done that show that you are passionate. So I have always been passionate about technology and computers. Okay. Since childhood. Don't put this in your, don't say since childhood and put that in your SOP. Okay. I wanted to become a software engineer. I believe your program will help me achieve my goals. If I see this, if any admission officer see this, this is generic. Okay. Now, number one, let me show you. When I'm writing to apply to master's program, I have no problem with this. Okay. I have always been passionate. This is where the problem comes from. Passionate about what? What made you passionate? Since when? Okay. You have to take away this and explain what motivates you. Show by example. Don't just say it. Okay. So we say that don't tell me, show me. Okay. So I've been passionate about technology. Okay. Since childhood. Now you are no more child. You are now an adult. You are now 30 years old. What you don't have to put since childhood again. Things have changed. Okay. So you don't say since childhood I have been passionate about. No, you don't say that. So the minute you write this in your SOP, this is generic. It has no link to you. Okay. I wanted to become software engineer. Okay. This is fine, but I mean, at this we don't. You have to know how to link everything. Now let me show you a good one, which is in green, our color greener. Okay. So let's analyze this. So when I mean this was taken from the middle of the SAP, so this is not the beginning. Okay, so when the power grid failed during the 22 floods in Accra, I watched our neighborhood hospital lose 3 patients because of backup systems couldn't be activated remotely. As an IT intern, I felt helpless. That night, I began teaching myself IoT programming. Okay, this internet, okay, of things. 2 years later, my prototype is being tested in rural clinics. Now I seek advanced training at the University of Waterloo to scale this solution across West Africa. When you write this is unique to you. This is something unique. This is something special to you. This not John cannot have this. Samuel cannot have this. This is unique to you. Now, these 4 lines here alone can win you admission. Okay? So if you have these 4 things in your SOP, this alone, if they read this, can give you admission to you. Now, let's analyze this very carefully. Okay? So when this happened, this is a situation. You want to solve a problem. Okay? So there's a problem that happened, you want to solve. Okay? So you have personal experience. Lives has been lost. Okay. And then you have started doing something, learning IoT, Internet of Things programming. Then after 2 years, your work is being used. So now let's go back to this. Okay. Now I said, why this field? You could see that it is there. That guy wants to say this field because of his past experience. Okay. And the next thing is why this university? Probably based on the professor's research work and because of your field. Now, why you? Why should we take you? Because I've over the past years solved a problem. I solved this problem. Okay. That night, I began teaching myself IoT programming. 2 years later, my prototype is being tested in rural areas. Okay. So that's a problem that you want to solve. Okay. Now, let's look at this carefully here. Now, I seek advanced training. Why now? You see? So these small lines have identified 4 things. Why now? I seek advanced training. There's no time. You want to solve an issue in Ghana quickly, Africa. Okay. Now I seek advanced training in Waterloo, University of Waterloo to scale this solution across Africa. Okay. So that 4 line alone have certified these requirements. Why this field? Why this school? Why you? Why should we admit you and why now? So this is how good SOP should be. If you're able to have all this in your SOP, you will definitely get admission. Okay. So today's session is just to give you a brief intro of what the admission officers are looking for and what you should put in your SOP and also what you should put in your CV. Okay. So before I close, let me share this with you before I close. Okay. So for your CV, how you can build a very good CV. These 6 things must be in your CV. There's no way you can write CV without putting these 6 things in your CV. So in your CV, you don't put your date of birth, your hometown, and all those in your CV. No, we don't need that. Okay. And if once you are no more in high school, you are now doing your bachelor or master's. Your high school has no bear. You shouldn't be in your CV again. Don't put your high school things on your CV. It is done. Whether you are SRC president, you were school prefect, and all those things, we don't need those in your CV. Okay, now your new chapter has been opened for you. Now you're in graduate school. Okay, you are in doing undergrad. You have to talk about what you are doing now in your undergrad. No more high school. Okay, but if you've done some kind of volunteer work, of course you can put that in your CV. Okay, some volunteer work like blood donation, or you've done some you distribute food or clothing to people. I mean, you can put that in your CV. Okay, that's fine. If you are SRS president in your high school as part of leadership position, you can equally put that there, but don't go and put the school name like, hey, I went to Wesleyan High School and I did science, chemistry. No, we don't need that in your SOP. Okay, we don't need that. Now, the next thing that you want to talk about is your thesis, your project work, and your GPA. Okay, you need to talk briefly about your thesis, okay, or your project work in your CV. Okay, then the next thing is your research work. Okay, have you ever done some research before? Do you know some research methods? Your course projects, your poster presentations can also be under your research work. And then if you have done some publications, then you can put it here. Okay. If you're from an undergrad, most times, I mean, they know you cannot write a paper at that time, so nobody care about that. So you can leave this. But if you're from master's level, going to PhD, then you have some research work, you can put in there. Okay. Now the experience to be with your work experience and all that things. Okay. If you are working now, if you're a nurse, if you are in any kind of field, if you are a banker, you have to put those things in under your experience. So under this experience, you can also put your leadership qualities. Okay. If you are SRC president, if you are some committee member, some position that you hold before, you can also create a session, name it like leadership position or leadership skills or experience. Then you can put that there. Okay. Then the next thing is your skills and hours. So the skills we have like technical skills. Okay, so if you know how to do some coding, know do machine learning, how to use some software like Stata, SPSS, SAS, R, MATLAB, and all those things, you have to list them down there. Okay. Then if you know how to use some lectures, some apps, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, I mean, you can list those things there as well. Okay. If you know do some graphic designing, you're a web developer and all those skills. Okay. C++. I mean, you put all those things under your skills. And for the awards, if you are being award before in your school, you can put all those in there. Okay. So must be what your CV have to be like. Okay. You have to have these things in your CV. If you don't have it, you cannot get admission. Okay. Now, last time I was telling a student that your CV is your selling point. Okay. You have to sell yourself in your CV. So this is a weak CV. So someone said that, hey, I was a research assistant at the University of Ghana, and from 23 to 24. Okay. And I say, the person, okay, help with research, collected data, use SPSS, work in a lab. Okay. I'm saying this out of experience because of over the years, more than 8 years experience. I've seen so many CV from every country, sorry, not every country, majority of the countries, students from China, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, even the US. So I've seen so many CVs. Okay, a lot of students are able to put their experience on their CV wall. Okay, now let's look at this CV. Now, if you look at this CV over here, this is a very good CV. Okay, so this person is able to talk about. Oh, you can't see well. Let me see if I can push myself away for you to see. All right, so let's look at this CV carefully. Okay, good. Let's see CV. Okay, I'm thinking that's okay. So let's look at this CV. Okay, so this CV over here has about 4 points. So this student's trying to describe his research work. Okay, so you have to mention. Sorry, this name is just random name. Okay, even though I know somebody can be called this by this a random name I just picked. Okay, now this student is describing his past experience. Okay, so you have done this research work. Now your CV has to be measurable, quantifiable. Okay, so you should have conducted 200 plus. You are quantifying your work. Okay, now you have used SPSS, analyze data with SPSS. So if you list in your CV that you know how to use Stata, R program, Python, and all those things, how will I know? So the only way for me to know is you telling me that you have analyzed the data with SPSS or Python with version this and this, identify this in your work. Okay, code authored manuscript, and I review this and this. So this is how you describe your research experience, or your research assistant role that you are being assigned to, like a prof you are working with. Okay, so you have to know how to brag about your CV. Okay, so most times we have a lot of students with good background and they are unable to describe their experience. So please share this live session with your friends, share this link, let people see it and join. And those who come and watch later on, this session is a very good one that if you watch carefully, you can write good SOP, know what admission officers are looking for, and you can be able to present a very good essay. All right, so if you have any question you want to drop, I'm not sure some of you have applied already, so you don't have any questions. So if you have questions, feel free to send them in a comment section and I'll be glad to respond to you. Aside that, I wish you all the best. If you apply to school and you didn't get admission, that is fine. Do it again. Okay. So once you have committed, okay, so study abroad is something that you cannot just let it go. Once you have put money into this process, okay, you spend like $200, $300, $500, okay, and you didn't get admission, don't say I'm stopping. You don't stop there. you have to continue and get your money back. Okay. So once you get full scholarship, within 1 month, you've recruited all your money. Okay. Your money that you spent during the process, you've got your money back. Okay. So if you applied and you didn't get admission and you feel like, oh, because I didn't get admission, I want to stop. I don't want to continue again. That's we see that to be like a coward. Okay. So you have to continue. You don't give up. Okay. You see, politicians sometimes when they contest for elections, they don't give up for the next time. They want to continue until they win. So if you applied, no admission, that is fine. It's not your fault. Maybe something didn't go well, your documents didn't go well, or there's no funding. So there are different things that determine admission. One is maybe you didn't write good essay, your CV, or there's no alignment, your fit didn't match with the professor, and also there's no funding. Okay, so there's no funding, it means that they cannot take more students to the program. So if you apply to a PhD program and you are not admitted, it doesn't mean that you are bad or your profile is not good. Sometimes it's because of the funding. So a program is taking like 2 to 3 students, and they have about 100 students applying to a program, and they have to admit 3 to 5. See, it's difficult. So if you don't get admission, don't have to be hard on yourself. It means that there's no funding, or your program is not strong. You have to do it again. You don't give up. Okay. So don't give up on your dreams. Keep pursuing until you get a funding. Once you get a funding, you win. So if you don't win, you don't give up. Okay. All of us who apply to school, we all have gotten rejection before. Okay. Nobody will say that I have not gotten rejection before. No. But the problem is that some of you are not able to apply to more schools. You apply to 1 or 2 schools, you give up. No, you need to apply to more schools. If you want to study in the US, it's like World Cup. Every student wants to come to the US. Everybody wants to come to the US. US is number 1. Okay. Canada is number 2. Okay. No matter who you are, I mean, US is still number 1. Okay. So everyone wants to come to Canada. Everyone wants to come to US. Now, you also want to come. Your friends want to come. Your mates want to come. Your country mates want to come. Everybody wants to come. Everybody on social media wants to come to the US. Now, it means you have to present a very good application document that can win you funding. So if you don't get funding, if you don't get admission, you don't give up. You have to do it again. Okay? It doesn't mean you are not a good student. It means at that time, your profile didn't win you, or there's no funding. Most times, a good student sometimes don't get admission because fund is not available. Okay? Or your SOP is not good. So you do it again. We don't advise you to stop on the way. Don't stop. Keep doing it. Apply well. Stream your document. Make sure everything is intact, and apply again. Apply early, and you shall surely get admission. Okay? So thanks for tuning in, and we hope to have more live sessions to teach you how to write good SOP, good CV, and all those things that can make your application strong. Okay, so if you are just joining us, we had a very good discussion. I'm sure you've missed. So you want to go back and watch our session. If you have some questions you want to ask me, feel free to ask me, and we'll go. So let me just recap before I go. I spoke about what the admission officers are looking for. So they want to look at your academic strength. 40%, your GPA has to be good. Your coursework must be there. It has to match with the program you want to do. Your research fits must be there. Your personal qualities, that's your skills, your personal skill that you have, your communication skills, all those must be there. Okay. And your reference, you have to get a good reference from your lecturer. Okay. Yeah, that will make your application strong. All right. So once you have this, I'm very confident that you be able to get admission. All right. Good. Yeah. If you have questions you want to ask, and before I go, let me, very important one. We've actually changed our services. Okay. Next, those who will be applying to study in the US want us to assist you in our services. We have changed our services. Okay. So before we used to apply, like helping students to apply. But for this time round, we are giving a chance to students to do their own applications. Okay, so next year, those who will be using our services who might not be able to apply for students, but we'll be coaching you to do your own thing. Okay, so those who use our service this year, we kind of provide assistance. Okay, but those who will be doing their own next year, they have to fill their own form, do everything by themselves, but we'll be providing support. Okay, so let me take my time to briefly explain to you our services before I move on. Okay, before I leave you guys, let me kind of speak about our services. Okay, let me share this with you to see. Okay, so if you go to our website, our beautiful website, okay, if you go to our website, which I believe you all can see, okay. Now, if you go to our website, we have different type of services. Okay, so our services here is for, we have mentorship. Okay, we have mentorship, and we have CV development editing. Okay, we also have SOP, and we have scholarship strategy. Okay, and we have visa interview coaching. Those are things that we have. Okay, so for example, if you come to our page here, we do have one-on-one mock session. Okay, so for this session, we are going to train you. We'll train you to do your own application. Okay, so how to write CV, will help you to edit them, how to send an email to professors, and all those things. You have access to that. Okay, and how to make, you have your own application portal, you do your own thing. Okay, what we do is that we are coaching you, like we can give you like 2 months or 1 month and coach you. Okay, and then we guide you with school selection, do all that for you. Okay, and then you will go sit down and apply. Okay, so there are many things that you can do and win funding. Okay, so we also have like editing of SOP, and you can benefit from a lot here. Okay, so we'll help you to review your SOP, make it the best of the best. Okay, so go to our website and learn more about Green Educational Course. If you have questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll be glad to assist you. Okay, thank you for tuning in today, and share these live sessions with your friends, that everyone sees this live session and win funding to study abroad. The next year you want to be in the US. Okay, if you cannot go this year, that is fine. Make sure next year you are in the US, you're in Canada. Go to the best countries. Okay, don't go to any country that you'll be struggling after school. Okay, thank you for joining my session today.